working as a consultant, how do you know that they really truly understand what you're saying, and how do you know you can move forward?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know, part of it is doing your homework, but honestly, you don't know until you're in it. You don't know until you actually have the conversations and the lead-ins. And that's also why I love events too, because it gives me a wide aperture of people to see, am I what I'm saying, does it land with like majority of people? Like just base level, nothing deep. And then two, was the enunciation, was the presentation, was the stylistics, was it landing? Did I keep people's attention? Did they retain anything at all? Were they mentioning anything about, not even about me, about the event the next day that it was getting credit for it? And then from there, did anyone reach out after? And sometimes I make a call to action at the end of those, and but many times I don't. Because I'm almost like, if you really, if it's something really landed, and I'm public, baby, I'm all over the place. So it's like I make it easy to get in touch with me some type of way. If you really want to talk, and it's like, ooh, and I tell people all the time, most people really they get so excited when they get a message. I get excited when I get a mention and like, hey, I saw this event, let's chat. And I'm like, let's make it happen. It may not happen this week, but let's make it happen. So for me, I think events give me the wide vision of like where I'm going, what makes sense. And then when I get into the meat of it, it's like, okay, I'll leave breadcrumbs and I'll leave small tokens of action. And if I see people start doing those things, then I really know it landed. Like I'll have QR codes. I'll name a specific episode, and I'll just look at my numbers and seeing, like an oldie, like a real old episode of my podcast. But it really matters in the context. If I see a spike in that go up around the same time the event happened and post after, then I know it landed. They took action. They were paying attention, and it wasn't like a hard ask. It was just in there and for your choosing to do your choose your own adventure type style. But I think in consulting, when you know if it lands, if you're trying to push an MVP, I think most people go and judge by how many sales they got or how many one-on-one consultations they booked. I used to be that way, if I'm being honest. I used to think that way, but I always find it was too black and white. There wasn't enough gray area in there. So for me, it was like, did they connect with me on LinkedIn? And are they engaging with my content? It's like a slow burn. I'm not a big email marketing person. I'm traumatized from doing so much email marketing for other people that I haven't done it for myself. And so for me, LinkedIn is like my email marketing breadcrumb type of thing, if you will. And I find just slowly that way just gives me more understanding and knowledge, and I can filter them off better of where my value can be. I do offer a lot of different things, but that's because I'm just multi-potentialite. I'm not going to fit into a bucket and just say, this is the one thing I do forever. This is what people know me for. And then I can't do anything else for the rest of my life. I'm like, no, that's just not how I see the world or how I want to operate. So if you are a creator and a entrepreneur who thinks like me, you're not alone here. Um, the whole struggle of picking one thing and stick with it forever, that ain't my style. I will pick things that complement each other in like the nucleus of what I'm trying to do and expand in that way. But that's what I found has been the easiest way to kind of navigate. But also, lastly, it creates more opportunities. To your point, I may have one MVP, but as I'm talking with other people, it could be as simple as take your MVP and just segment it down to realtors or segment it down to a very niche industry or type or a very niche outcome or result. From the same nucleus, you're basically doing the Taco Bell strategy. I got the same six ingredients and I'm just monetizing whatever it needs to be for that particular group. But if I only limited it to this one taco I was doing and that's it, not seeing, oh, people just care about this one ingredient. Let me see what I can make with this one ingredient and not just keep adding more things to my menu. But it doesn't exhaust me because I'm using the same ingredient I already have. And I think that's more valuable. And you find that out by just going out into new markets and doing different things. And that's just kind of how it works for me.